Alright, let me pull up some music. Ba ba da ba ba do. What do we got? Do we want to go with the usual, or do we want to try something new? I kind of want to go with the usual, just because I know which, safe. Cowardly, maybe, but I also like the music, so. This I don't know if we'll end up going for. I'll just add that to a playlist so we have something to. Okay, nope, it did its own playlist. Dadgummit. Okay, just. I hate how YouTube does that now. It's just like, oh, you want to listen to music on YouTube? Okay, here's a playlist. It's like, no, because now you've added stuff that will get me DMCA'd. Stupid. There we go. That should be good. Okay, so we got a few shorts to work on. The three of which are going to be uploaded, as you can tell by the names of the files, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday of the upcoming week, and then the other four are previews, so shorts made from this past week's clips to put on social media. Should probably get another social media besides Twitter, should probably try Instagram or something, I don't know. I really don't want to do Instagram though, because I don't want to have another Meta account, If there is one company that is notorious at losing your personal information to who knows who, willingly or otherwise, it is Meta. So I'm extremely hesitant. I don't know. Anyway. And besides, it's not like suddenly moving over to Instagram is going to just make my name explode out into the world, so. Not really. I'm not really willing to throw my privacy and security out the window for no guarantees whatsoever of it being worth it.
Wrong my entire life?
If we
Okay, let's real quick take a look at what's going on here, and then we'll probably open up Photoshop to recreate this. It's cut off at the bottom, so this is going to be a little tricky. Unless this clip is potentially too old. Yeah, here we go. Well, we can get both. What is going on? What is going on? Why is it not? Oh. Okay, so basically, we've got this, And then if we move here, we've got the rest, right? So let me pop open Photoshop, get this put together. Gotta move it over to the other monitor so that I can read what I'm typing here. Okay. We're on regular chat. We need to move to cheer. It's actually kind of interesting how I sometimes recognize names from chatters if I've done enough clips for certain VTubers, and there are people that talk enough, I will actually sometimes recognize them. Okay, now I need to go back to the top where the chat is so that I can read the rest. It's a long one. Alright. Now we gotta double check for spelling mistakes, because, you know, odds are I made some. No, I think we're good. All right. Okay, then we gotta go to the chat box folder, save it. All right.
Wrong my entire life.
Right here is where we'll have it start. Okay, put it there. And then just need to grab chat box. Here we go.
If we were to imagine you were stranded on a moon base in another galaxy, and the food printer was broken so it could only store a single dish blueprint, dooming you to eat only a single dish for the rest of your life.
We're actually going to move this down here, and then what we'll do that, and then this here. Grab that there. Change the color of this to something that better matches Tanya's look palette, color palette. There we go. And then I'm getting better at doing these. I wouldn't say I'm getting faster, but I'm getting better. It's hard to get faster because... Uh-oh. It froze, didn't it? No, no. Okay, it didn't freeze. Okay, nope, nope. It's still... Oh, boy. I'm thinking I might need to get a new PC at some point, just because I don't know what part of my PC is failing, but there is a part of my PC that is falling apart. And it is falling apart bad. Okay, I can't hear myself think right now. I'm turning down the music. There we go. That's better. Okay. It just looks weird because she's all the way to one side. I think otherwise it would look normal. That should be good. Right? Yeah, that looks good. Shrink it down, move it up. We need to move this down more. There we go.
If we were to imagine you were stranded on a moon base in
Since this is the position where her face is more normally, gonna move it there. There we go. That looks all right.
on a moon base in another galaxy, and the food printer was broken so it could only
We might want to change the color here, because it's blending too much with her hair, obviously. There we go. That might work. It's a bit dark, isn't it?
store a single dish blueprint, dooming you to eat only a single dish for the rest of your life. What dish would you choose? Wow.
The berries from Hunger Games that kill you.
If we were to imagine you were stranded on a moon base in another galaxy, and the food printer was broken so it could only store a single dish blueprint.
Okay, we need to make another adjustment here. This is fine. This is where we need it to move. So put this here. That there. And another one here. Okay, that looks good. What the heck? There it is. No. The other one. There we go. Hey, Chloe, how's it going? I might be taking a little too much time on this one section. But Tanya's a bit more expressive in her movements, so she tends to need a bit more work on these sorts of things. There are certain VTubers out there that I would never do this kind of stuff with because it would be way too much of a pain. There are some VTubers who are so mobile, they move around so much that doing this kind of work would be such a pain that I would just find any way possible to avoid doing this. Just find any other option. Okay. Right here. So do this, and right there is where we will. I could probably have zoomed it out a bit more, but whatever. Probably would have made things a bit easier. I started in the wrong place. I started where her face was a little scrunched to the side, so it was easier to make a smaller circle around her head. That's my bad.
If we were to imagine you were stranded on a moon base in another galaxy, and the food printer was broken so it could only store a single dish blueprint, dooming you to eat only a single dish for the rest of your life, what dish would you choose? Wow.
Oh, the berry.
Okay, and it cuts off right here.
Oh, the berries from Hunger Games that kill you.
Okay. Now comes the interesting part, because now I need to figure out. So I think what I'm going to do is I grabbed this earlier. It is a collection of spit take clips from different movies and TV shows and stuff. So we're going to grab that and look for one that we think will look good, and then I can find it. Where'd it go? What in the world? I just saved it earlier. Where could it have gone? That's weird. Maybe it went to the wrong folder location. It's entirely possible that that's what happened. Where the crap is it? What in the world is going on? Oh, here we go. Okay. We'll mute the audio real quick, just so, you know. And no, probably not that one. You know what? Let's do this real quick. I need to be able to see the whole thing. There, this is much better. You can actually see the whole. Nah, I don't think that one, because it focuses too much on him being in the background. That's the silliest looking spit take ever. Probably not that one. Well, I mean, yeah, no, probably not that one. Not that one either. Probably not. Another Gene Wilder, I believe is his name. Wait, yeah, his spit takes just are not that. Some of these moved by really fast. Ooh, this one might work. Yeah, I don't mind that one. And let's just we'll do the cuts just so we can grab it if we decide to use it. And goes by too quickly. And there's talking in the background of that one. Whoa, wait, hold on. That one could work too. Ooh, hold on. I like the Ratatouille when I remember the Ratatouille. You know what? I'm gonna see if I can't find the Ratatouille one. I really like the Ratatouille one, so I'm gonna see if I can't find that one specifically. Um, trying to just at this point, I'm just trying to find all Anton Ego scenes. This video is terrible just because the proportions are horrendous, but I had the right clip. It's just ugh. Again, what is with this? What is with this? What size is this bullcrap? This is so dumb. Seriously. Basically, it's widescreened and then just zoomed the crap in so it cuts out everything. Completely defeats the point. It might not... Hold on. I need to double check. Yeah, the full scene does have more of a pause in it, so I think it would be better to get the full scene. If I could just get it where it's not at the horrific aspect ratio, it would be great. But no matter what I do, every video is just at the same horrible aspect ratio. Every single time. High quality. It says high quality is the worst quality and has the same crappy aspect ratio. What the crap is this? This is why I greatly respect those channels who say screw YouTube's copyright crap. I'm just uploading this so people can use it. Meanwhile, scenes that would way more easily get copyrighted are the scenes with the proper aspect ratio and nothing done to it to protect them from the copyright claims. Meanwhile, that's one tiny little scene, for some reason, always has... Nope, that's terrible. Holy crap, they're all such terrible quality. What is this crap? That one has crap over the front of it. No. We might just have to go with the terrible aspect ratio. To be fair, we're gonna be changing it to a portrait view, but still. If I ever want to reuse it, I need it to be, you know, not terrible. Well, I give up. I'm just gonna grab this one because this one has the best video quality, even if the aspect ratio is trash. Whatever. Fine. Oops. No, I didn't realize just how much I'd end up cutting out. We might not be able to use this one. Yeah, we're just cutting out so much that it's kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? I know I'm not going to use either of those or this. Definitely not that one. No. No. No, there's too much background noise. Well, maybe. Too much background noise. I don't want any background noise. And I think from here on out is clips where the liquid temperature is either too hot or too cold, so they don't really do proper spit takes. I don't know.
Grog.
This is probably gonna have background noise.
Fuck me.
Oh. That's not It's not terrible. Background noise is very minimal, so I think it's usable. Depends on whether or not we can get it to work in portrait size. I know, obviously there's too much going on here. It's a battle scene, so not doing it there. Yep, not doing that one. Well, I guess we'll just use the ones we've got so far, so we'll just, now let's test out whether or not they will work in portrait. 200 is way too big. 150 too small. Maybe 200 wasn't too big. No, it was. By a good amount. 178 is fine. And moves a bit too much. Could make it work, but we'll see if either of the other two would require less work. Right, they all come from the same video, so use the same size. All three. No, that one won't work. Doesn't work in portrait. This one's a bit too short. Doesn't really get the right effect. This one I think we can work with because of the way he's moving. We can make it look natural. So say position keyframe there. And then ease out, ease in. Make it look a little smoother. Yeah, I think that one will work. Cool.
The berries from Hunger Games that cute.
What is happening here? I don't remember doing that. That was weird.
The berries from Hunger Games that kill you. Kill you.
Yeah, that works pretty well. So now we need to find where the next part is. Seriously, what the how did the crap did this happen? I don't remember doing that.
Kiki, I wanted to have a window. I could kind of make them. It actually doesn't look that bad. Somebody's gonna call it face again. Tanya is this frag on the third. There's a bunch of frags here. These are baby flags. They're gonna grow up. These big, strong flags. Yeah, big, strong. Probably burrito. But it has to be like the same burrito though, so you'll get tired of it irregardless.
Just, I know the question obviously wasn't asked of me, but for my 2 cents, I'm just saying, burrito is one of those things you should not. Anything with beans should never be considered as an option for a scenario of you have to eat the same thing every day for a certain period of time. Anything with beans should never, ever, ever be considered, because you will destroy yourself. You will not survive whatever the situation is. In this one, it's being stranded for however long. You won't survive the experience if you go off of bean-laden food eaten over and over and over again. Try eating chili or a burrito every day for like a week. See what happens. It won't be pretty.
Regardless, some paprika on the.
I am slightly speaking from experience.
No, no, they would not. You know what? Gives me the EB-jibbers. You know what gives me the EB-jibbers? Have you guys seen videos of people that they eat like squid or stuff, and then they put the squid or whatever fish, they put it in soya sauce. Soya sauce? Soya sauce, right? And then it like, or Worcestershire sauce, whatever it is. Yeah, soy sauce. Soy sauce. Soy sauce. Soya sauce. Made from Sawyer Boyer. Guess where she went? To the sauce factory. Yeah. And then it like, live squid. No.
Okay, how much of this can we save? Because we do have a limit of 60 seconds, or well, 59 in here, because 59 will equal 60.
You know what gives me the EB-jibbers? Have you guys seen videos of people? I could kind of make them stupid. Grow up. But it has to be like the same flags. They're gonna grow up. These big, strong flags. Yeah, big, strong. Probably burrito. But it has to be like the same burrito.
Yeah, see, this is too long.
It'd be like the same burrito though, so you'll get tired of it regardless. Some paprika on the grass. No. No, they would not. You know what? Gives me the EB-jibbers.
So if we cut off the whole part about the burrito, while it does work well in connecting because it keeps the same context and moving on to the next topic. See, even this is too long. Not by a lot, but by enough. So we'll cut out this part too, which would give us some time if we wanted to add something on the end. Shamed her into correcting herself? doesn't say they shamed her into correcting herself. At least that's not.
You know what gives me the ibajibis? Have you guys seen videos of people, it's in soya sauce? Soya sauce? Soya? Soya boya. Soya sauce? Right? And then it like, or Worcestershire sauce? Yeah, soy sauce. Soya sauce.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like they shamed her into correcting herself. Just seemed like somebody typed it in chat and then she read it and was like, oh yeah, there, and that's pretty normal. Okay. Whoop. -6 is not what I wanted.
I'll kill you. You know what gives me the ibajibis? Have you guys seen videos of people that they eat like squid or stuff and then they put.
Okay, now we need to start working on cut all of that out. And since this is going on YouTube, we are going to take that part out and replace it with a skull. I'm not going to be one of those people that does unalive, because that's stupid. Hold on, I got to get the door for the dog. Well, either I was hearing things, or the dog immediately left. Could be either or, honestly. Okay, anyway.
You know what gives me the ibajibis?
Need to listen to how she pronounces it.
The ibajibis? Have you guys?
Because I don't, heebie-jeebies isn't really since it's not a real word, it doesn't really matter the spelling. So since she puts less of a reflection on the he and b, I'm just gonna put a single e.
Ibajibis? Have you guys?
I don't know why I put a capital H.
Ibajibis? Have you guys seen videos of people? People that they eat like squid.
I hate when I hit the Alt key by accident.
That they eat like
Okay, yeah. I was right.
squid or stuff, and then they put the squid.
This is why I don't understand the transcript system in Adobe. Like,
Squid or stuff. And
or. She says, or. Who on earth would hear where to? Where do you get that? It's like trying to play a game of telephone with the stupidest person on the planet. That is essentially the transcript system in Adobe. you say the word crayon and they hear nuclear bomb. It is the stupidest thing. I don't know where they get this crap. And it gets very inappropriate at times. I have had the transcript say things in it that if I were to show it on stream might get me in trouble. It is wild, the crap that will come out of this thing. It has no filter either. Like nobody would say the things that this stuff says. The transcript will put in words that no VTuber would say. And it's just like, what in the world? Nobody would say that on Twitch. They'd get banned. Like, what the crap? So it's just, the transcript thing for Adobe is trash, absolute trash. There are AI that are able to do transcripts infinitely better than this. So you'd think Adobe getting thousands and thousands of dollars out of their subscription service bull crap would have enough money to make their transcript system even just a little bit more intelligent. But no, they keep putting the money into other bull crap like stealing all of your projects while you work on them. But, well, nobody ever blamed these companies of being smart.
Stuff, and then they put the squidward whatever. They put the squidward whatever. Put the squidward whatever fish. They put it in soy sauce. Soy sauce?
I think I am gonna need to break this one up.
Whatever fish. They put it in soy sauce.
I can leave that one there, and then oops, deleted the wrong O.
So, soy sauce? Soya? It's in soy sauce. Soy sauce? Soy sauce? Soya?
I should have grabbed some stuff of soya to add in. Probably I can still do that. We might not get anything overly phenomenal. You can I never really watched a lot of Soya streams. She graduated a little too soon after I was introduced to the whole Barbie group. When I was, you know, actively doing VTuber clips, so don't really have a lot anything at all. I might have something from some older projects. Let's take a look. Because I remember I did the Barbie edition of the trading cards back when I was doing those. So I should have something. Possibly. Oh, wait, no, I remember what I did for those. Never mind, it wouldn't give me anything worthwhile. Ah, well, that would explain why I'm getting certain results on Google. And one of the think I grabbed stuff that'll work. We'll just have to do a bit of Photoshop work on it to remove the background. But I think this should work. What the crap do you mean save as type all files? The heck does that mean? Oh my goodness gracious. It just says type file. What the crap did I just... What in the world? How does... Jeez Louise, trying to get a single picture off of Google is nightmare fuel these days, isn't it? Okay, I need to turn one of these files from a WebP... Wait, no, since we're going to be doing it in Photoshop, it doesn't matter if it's a WebP, because then we'll just delete the background and save it as a... Okay, I thought my YouTube side of things was broken. Multi-streaming is a pain. I hate doing it. It is so annoying. Oh, man. I mean, specifically on YouTube, because the YouTube thing you look over is like, is a YouTube stream working? I can't tell. Not that I have much of a viewership anyway, so it doesn't matter. Who cares? Right. I just realized, has the chat box not been showing up on stream? That would be annoying. Hold on, let me switch over to... Oh, hey. Why the crap is that showing up? Whatever. Okay, we'll at least have that, and then... Oh, it is showing up. Alright, okay, well, this is the wrong one. Alright, no, there it is. So it is showing up. Cool, we'll just move. I can just move it over like that. Yep, there we go. And then move the background down like so. There we go. Cool. I don't know what it is. What is this stupid thing called? Caster Labs? Caster Labs isn't bad, but it's the weirdest thing. So it works differently on this my editing scene compared to my gaming scene. I had to resize it on the gaming scene and the text is bigger, but on the editing scene the text is smaller, and the box is smaller. It's the same browser source. How the crap is it different across two different scenes? Makes no sense. I changed the proportion sizes on the editing scene, and it worked brilliantly. It was great. I changed the proportions on the gaming scene, and it broke everything. It got stretched out and looked weird, so I had to fix it, and now it's completely different across two different scenes, and I don't know why or how to fix it. It's so dumb. It's like, it worked perfectly well here. Why did it suddenly not work there when it's literally a copy and paste of the same thing? Doesn't make sense. Whatever. Not important right now. So long as it works, we're good. Maybe we can increase the text size. I can at least do that real quick. There we go. Chat. Text style, font size. We'll just... It's a slider without values, which is also really stupid. Like, I think if there's one thing I don't like about Castro Labs, is it was created by people who have no understanding of user friendliness or user experience. The UI and the settings and everything in Castro Labs is so minimalist, it becomes difficult to understand. It's not well designed. It's a great idea, and it's a phenomenal service, not well designed.
Soya sauce?
Did someone in chat say the soya poya? I need to move this over. You know, I'm just gonna create a copy so I don't have to do a bunch of editing changes. Yeah, no, nobody said it, so it's part of her normal conversation.
Soya sauce?
I'm gonna try to spell Worcestershire from memory, and then I'll check the spelling. Oh, hello. Oh my gosh! Thank you, Viewbot, for showing me that. Hold on, before I ban the Viewbot, let me fix the font size here. Holy crap! There we go. Thanks, Viewbot. They do come in handy sometimes, don't they? Anywho.
And then it like, or
yeah, Viewbots every now and then have their purposes. Okay. You remember what I was saying a little while ago about the transcript thing not making sense? Look at this. She says Worcestershire sauce, and it gets a little booster. What?
and then it like, or Worcestershire?
Or Worcestershire sauce. That's what she says. And the transcript says a little booster. What the crap? Fix your crap, Adobe. You're making me pay you $60 a month. Fix your crap. Ay. Adobe loves to tout their new AI tools. They're like, look at what we can do with AI. It's amazing. But you can't even get a transcript to work properly. I don't want you dabbling in other AI stuff until you can get a transcript to work in a way that sounds human. Get it a little bit closer, if you please. Or figure it out in a way where the transcript starts being better at understanding different accents. They have AI out there that can actually do better than Google Translate at translating different languages, working with different accents for those different languages. You can build a transcript thing that can understand what people are saying better. You can. Other people have done it. You have no excuse, Adobe. You have plenty of money and resources. Okay, let's see if I can spell Worcestershire correctly. Obviously, I'm gonna spell it like that. Although it could have an S here. Could have an I in there somewhere. Let's see if I spelled it wrong. I don't know. I don't use. I have never used Worcestershire sauce in my life. I think I've tried it and I hate it. I don't remember. It obviously was not memorable. That, or it was just my terrible memory. Alright, let's look it up. Or is it Worcestershire? Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. I was right in that there's a C in there. It's just in a place I never would have expected. Okay, now her pronunciation of it makes way more sense. Worcestershire. And this is why we call it Worcestershire. Because that's easier. The other name is stupid. Seriously. It's Worcestershire. Yeah, it's 4 syllables. Worcestershire's 3, cuts it down by 1. Immediately better. So, Adobe did update their transcript thing, but there's the number one rule to understand with Adobe is that whenever Adobe updates stuff, it breaks it. The first update is always bad. The second update is the one you want. Because the first update will always break things, and then they make another update to fix the things they broke. That's how Adobe has always worked. It is one of the dumbest things. They do whatever it is that they do to test things before they push it to the public. They don't do enough of it. They need more quality testing. They need to hire more people to test their stuff before they ship it out, because I don't know what it is they do, but every single time they update something, they make it worse. I don't hate Adobe. I should say I don't hate the service and program and software of Adobe. I don't particularly like the company because they are corporate scumbags who try to steal my stuff. But they're not exactly unique in that regard, so, you know, whatever.
On a moon base.
Or Worcestershire sauce? Yeah, soy sauce. Yeah, soy sauce. Soy sauce. Soy sauce. Soy sauce. Soya sauce. Made from soy or boyer.
Yeah, I I perfectly understand why DaVinci is getting more popular. I don't particularly like using DaVinci because it is. I shouldn't have to give myself a migraine looking at a screen trying to interpret what the crap it means. It's like trying to read an ancient tablet in a language you don't understand. You look at it and you're like, the crap is this? You know? I shouldn't have to go on some fantastical journey to uncover clues and ancient secret translations through some ancient tomb to understand how the crap to use your program. That's my gripe with DaVinci. It is way too complicated. It is not user-friendly whatsoever. It's a great program. It's just too much of a headache for me to care. It's already enough of a headache for me to do subtitle editing. I don't need the extra headache of trying to understand how to get the... Oh. Hit my mic and it went weird. Oh, there we go. Okay. I get a little too expressive with my hands sometimes, even though you can't see my hands. If I had money, I would try to go into getting a 3D model. Don't have money, so that won't happen. So I even did like several YouTube videos on it. I was gonna do a whole series on it, but school and whatnot made me too busy, so I ended up scrapping the idea. But I've gone through a lot of different editing services, and you can rate them in a lot of different ways. One of the ways you can rate editing software is in complexity. Adobe is intermediate. It can be a little bit tricky when you start, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty straightforward. A lot of other programs will base their stuff off of how Adobe does it, because Adobe is the industry leader. So a lot of other programs will follow similar structures to Adobe. So if you can figure out Adobe, you can figure out the vast majority of editing software out there. Other things like the web browser editors that you see a lot of people use, you know, those YouTube shorts and whatnot that always have the watermark at the end or on top of the video. Those are beginner because they offer basically zero features, and it's just like, okay, here's the video, here's the whatever you want to add to it, and you're done. We don't offer anything else. Screw you. That is basically what those are. It is the most basic. It's like the difference between a puzzle for toddlers that has 10 pieces total versus a jigsaw puzzle with 100 pieces. And then DaVinci is... I'd say DaVinci is like a 1,000 piece puzzle, but it's a double-sided puzzle. So not only do you have to fit together the 1,000 pieces, you also have to figure out which side of the piece is the correct side you want to be using. The reason why I say that is because there are two different versions of DaVinci. There's DaVinci Studio and DaVinci Resolve. I'm pretty sure Studio is the one you pay money for, which is just a one-time payment, so not too bad. $300, but still not too bad. And Resolve is the one you get for free. Well, sort of for free. You have to register an email. The two versions of DaVinci are vastly different because they offer different features. one of my favorite examples that I like to bring up now, since somebody introduced it to me, is the fact that DaVinci Resolve does not allow you to use GIFs. GIFs cannot be placed into DaVinci Resolve. You have to pay the $300 and get a DaVinci Studio if you want to incorporate a GIF into your video. There are other things like the Roto Brush for green screening and a bunch of other stuff, so that it creates two very different versions of DaVinci, which is why I say it's a two-sided puzzle. Because not only is it complex to figure out in the first place, but then if you pay the money and get DaVinci Studio, then you have to figure out how that version works with all of the other stuff you just added on top of it. So while it's great, it offers for puzzle lovers. Puzzle lovers love 1,000-piece puzzles because they love puzzles. So it's amazing. It offers great features and whatnot, but it's complex as crap. So if you're not a big puzzle lover, if you're not a big video editor, odds are you're not gonna love DaVinci. If you're just looking for the simple, straightforward video editing, go with the web browser stuff. If you're looking for something that gives you some features so you can work on stuff a little bit more precisely, go with something intermediate. Whether or not... Okay, split intermediate into two parts. If you don't have much of money and you want the features, go with something other than Adobe. If you have money to spare and the features, and or you're like me and you enjoy the connectivity between all of the Adobe apps, which is why I still use Adobe, then go with Adobe. It's probably a long-winded, convoluted way of explaining, but that's how I've come to view it after trial and error.
Guess where she went? To the sauce factory.
Okay. We are an hour and a half in and we haven't finished a single video. That's interesting. It still says I spelled Worcestershire sauce wrong. So I guess whatever. It really doesn't matter. You know, I really do enjoy how Adobe will have these little spell check things in the transcript, and it's like, look, I get it, but this is what the person said, so I can't just change the subtitles to be more grammatically correct if it's what the person said. Spell check is one thing, but it's like it's this little one. Are you sure you don't want to add punctuation? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't want to add punctuation or change it to a different word or whatever. Just punctuation in subtitles is stupid. You're listening to what the person's saying for the most part. I don't know. I guess maybe I should use commas a bit more in punctuation if I think about it. That's a debate for another time. I'm probably gonna need to get rid of my caption styles for Tanya soon, which is gonna be really weird to think about. But there won't be much point in saving those, keeping those taking up file space. Once I eventually stop doing Tanya clips. From is shorter than games, so we'll separate them that way. And videos and people have the same amount of letters, so it doesn't matter how I separate that one.
They put it in soya sauce.
The length of this should be fine, right? Maybe? I don't know. We'll find out. This one's gonna need to be split into 3 because Worcestershire is just way too long of a word to be put with any other words on the same line. It needs to be on its own line. Another reason why it's stupid. It should just be called Worcestershire, because that's shorter. But whatever. Does it say this? I could have sworn I changed it to the. Yeah, whatever.
that they eat like
Yep. Hate when I hit that key when I don't want to.
put this whatever they put it in soya sauce.
Hey, RA, how's it going? Ah, hen emote. Fun.
Soya sauce?
Yeah. I'm scared to pronounce the word because apparently people like to police the pronunciation of it, but Uma Musume is pretty popular these days. Then again, I mean, it was fairly popular since the anime started. At least I feel like it was. I don't know. And I haven't watched the anime, but I played the game a little bit. I do think it runs the risk of becoming one of those games, those mobile games that ends up dying out pretty quick, because it's one of those mobile games that does not really understand microtransactions. Yeah, it was at least known. I don't know, I saw people posting about it every now and then, even before the game came out. Or the anime really started hitting mainstream, but I just think it's I think it's a fad that's that could be doomed to die out pretty fast if they don't change how the microtransactions in the game work. Though maybe I could be wrong, but the game, let's see, it's how much? It's like $70 for 7,000 of their carrots or whatever. They're basically gems. Don't know why they didn't just go with actual carrots instead of their gem looking slightly carrot shaped gems, or it's stupid. Anyway, it's really pricey, like absurdly pricey, because 7,000 gems isn't gonna get you much in the game, because it's 1,500 for one pull, or for one 10 pull. So you get what, 5 pulls? Now, granted, in the grand scheme of things, compared to a lot of other mobile games, that's really good. The problem is that it doesn't look good until you do the math. So most people are not going to do the math. They're just going to look at that and go, oh, this doesn't look good at all. Why am I paying $70 for only 7,000? That seems like crap. Because that's, people's brains don't immediately start doing calculations. They go, this looks like this, so now I think of that. So you look at the shop to, if you ever want to buy some gems and you're just like, oh, why would I pay this much money? This is why certain mobile games are incredibly intelligent in how much money they make, because they will make it look very convenient and affordable to people. So there are mobile games out there that will have like 5 things going on at once, and it'll be like, hey, if you only pay $1 or $3 or $5, you can get these things and you can do this so many times. It's like, oh, okay. So then people don't realize that by the time they're done, they've paid like $100 in just like $1 to $5 payments. Yeah, the pull rates are also horrific. There is one thing I will say that I think people tend to be a bit obsessed with, is it's one of those games where you do not have to pull the card or the character 50 times. You don't. You don't. For the support cards, to get the effect that makes the card good, what you need is to get it once. You don't need a crap ton of duplicates. Now, there are certain cards that become even better if you get duplicates, but the primary thing that the cards get you is a specific skill. You can build your... I look at the game in more like a long term. So if you get the card once, phenomenal, good. Start building off of that, because it will come back eventually. And then when it does, go for it again, try to build it up. But you don't really need to build a you don't need to get it a million times on the first go around, because what you need is to get, if you want that skill, you just need to get the card once. You have the skill, done. Or, well, you have the chance to get the skill. I think it's a big problem is that a lot of the game is randomized. So a lot of the people who are big into getting the materials and building the right team and characters are going to start losing interest in the game, because it doesn't matter if you have the card. That's the best part. Even if you spend thousands of dollars to get the maxed out card and the maxed out character, you still run the chance of failing utterly. Just dumb luck. Bad luck, but luck. So the game has a lot of problems and risks losing a lot of players very quickly. The shop prices are terrible. The drop rates are terrible. The usefulness of the things you're spending money on are terrible. And there's random chances for everything. So there's nothing that makes me more frustrated about that game than when I'm doing a run that has everything perfect for it. I could be running legacy characters with 3 stars on exactly the stats I need. I could have maxed out cards giving me the exact skills and stats and whatnot that I need, I could have everything set up perfectly. And then I go into training and it's like, hey, you have a 9% chance of failing. You failed. Sucks to be you. The fail rate is so bad that if you go on YouTube and look up any of those strategy videos and whatever, they will recommend that you never train at a rate above 25% of failure. Gotta get the dog. She's bashing my door in. But anyway, it's just, I like the game, but I think once the novelty of it wears off, the player base is going to tank because it is not a good game. Once people start waking up and realizing some of the problems of the game, the qualities are not going to be able to hold because there are not enough good things to outweigh the bad. It's a terribly designed game. So I do think it's one of those ones that people are going to come to regret pretty quickly. It's just, you're not offered enough reward for the amount of work and time and work you put into the game. It takes an average of, if you speed run it, it can take you maybe 20 minutes to finish a career mode. And then it can take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour to finish one career mode. And then they give you events and objectives that require you to play hundreds of career modes, which makes no sense because you're asking people to put too much time into a game that takes too much time. And then it has all this other bull crap. It's a fun game, makes for a decent streamer game because horse racing, but it's not. I cannot imagine it being a long-lived game. This is coming from someone who's been doing mobile gaming for a very long time. I've been in a lot of guilds across a lot of different games, and I don't really communicate with my original group much anymore these days. We used to do a thing where we played one game together and we're like, hey, we're a good group, we work well together, do we want to move on to the next mobile game and keep working together? Sure. And we would try another game. The game would be crap, or the game would die. We would repeat the process like 10 times, and eventually we all just kind of like, well, life happened, we're moving on. Mobile games are just not long-term enough. A lot of mobile games are treated like MMOs, and they're not. Yeah, if you want to do PvP, then so here's my thing. This kind of stuff has been talked about constantly in gacha games. It's been one of the big things about gacha games. Hoyoverse is one of the prime examples of it. I have been playing Honkai Star Rail since day one. I do not have a single, not even one 5-star character or 5-star card that is maxed out. Not one. Guess what? I can do just fine in every game mode that exists in the game. I think it's just I've been playing mobile games for so long that I've woken up to what the reality of mobile games is. The reality of mobile games is that it does not matter if you have maxed out crap, because the next banner, the next week, the next event, whatever you spent thousands of dollars on will be useless and shoved off the cliff. Doesn't matter. You need to build for long term. If you spend thousands of dollars on the one thing that's really popular in the moment, you will regret it, because that one thing will either get nerfed or replaced by something that's better. A prime example is Honkai Star Rail. You have let me just grab this real quick. Who's the other one? I can't remember what the crap her stupid name is. Dadgummit. Yeah, I just can't think of what her name is. I'd have to pull up the game. So there's a character. They actually wield the same weapon, which is funny. I'm gonna pull it up. I have one image of one of them. So here's a character. It was one of the first 5-star characters in the game. Name is Stila. She's the only character I have that I got 2 of because I got obscenely lucky. Also, this is the only character I ever spent money on because the game had just started. So I grabbed the best character at the time just to guarantee that I got her, got 2. Cool. But that way I could build a good team right at the start and then just focus on, building strategies from there. I'm going to look up who the other character is. So Stila was absurdly good at the beginning of Honkai Star Rail, like broken good, would wreck everything. It didn't matter any of the strategy stuff. Doesn't matter whether the enemies were weak or resistant to her element or stats or whatever. Didn't matter. She would wreck everything. And it was great. She got nerfed. She got replaced. There we go. I knew I had the right letter to start with. Yeah, this is not a name I would remember for the life of me. Stila was replaced by Castoris, or Castoris, whatever the crap you pronounce her name. This character came out. Same element, she uses a scythe, I'm pretty sure, among other things. She came out, now she is rated as the better version of her, or like she's better than Stila, right? So now Stila is basically low tier, Castoris is high tier. Castoris, in no time at all, will be replaced by another character who is even better, wields the same element. So if you want to build a good team around that element, you're gonna need to get that character and the other characters and build around. That's how mobile games work. It doesn't matter what you get or how good it is, it will always be replaced in no time flat by another thing that requires you to spend another $50,000. There are some examples of things that can be exceptions to that rule. Namely, support items such as support cards can often be exceptions to that rule. I think one good exception in terms of Uma Musume would be the Kita-san Black card. I do think that that card does stand to be good long term, possibly. I don't know. I'm not that involved in Uma Musume compared to other mobile games, because at this point I'm fairly jaded to mobile games, because I've been playing mobile games for years. I know how they work, and I know how useless stuff will be after a while, or how useless it could potentially be. So I'm not really a big proponent on ever getting anything maxed out. I am a huge proponent of, if you like a character, focus on that character. If you like a playstyle, focus on that playstyle. Don't worry about your PvP ranks. Don't worry about finishing events or this, that, or the other, because if you do, you will just make the game a miserable trudge through the swamps. Every single time. But yeah, I do think Kita-san Black from Uma Musume is an example of something that can be very useful in maxed out tiers. However, in terms of game strategy, yes, Kita-san Black is really good to have maxed out. This is why I'm saying the game is doomed to fail, because the drop rate and price of getting it maxed out is so absurd that only people who are very dedicated to the game, which fair enough, they do whatever they want. People who will just throw money at anything, otherwise known as whales, they'll throw money at whatever anyway, so who cares? And then the people who have poor decision making, who are just stuck in the middle, where they don't really care about the game that much, or they don't really care about spending money that much, but they just end up doing it anyway because that's the situation they're in. And then you're gonna have a lot of the other people who look at that and go, yeah, I'm not wasting my time to get stuck in FOMO every 10 seconds because this new thing is gonna cost me an arm and a leg. It costs way too much money to max their crap out. People say she was irrelevant, but I heavily disagree. Heavily. Seele was my main from 1.0 to 3.0. I never built any other characters. I did build other teams slowly just because I knew eventually she would be moved out and other playstyles might work better. So I did get other characters and make other builds, but Seele was the one I used solely for basically everything from 1.0 to 3.0. I never noticed a difference. I notice a difference now because they have drastically changed a lot of the stuff to the game, but so this is another point of this. I feel like this goes along with my point of don't worry about the other stuff, because it doesn't matter. It's not gonna get you anything. So, like for Honkai Star Rail, the Apocalyptic Shadow and all that stuff doesn't really get you anything. I play it casually. I go in as like, I see how far I can get. If I can't get it all the way, I don't care, because it doesn't matter. It's not worth getting all the way through it. I don't get anything out of it. Honkai Star Rail is and the Hoyoverse in general are games that became popular because of one, character design, and two, story. In my opinion. Anything outside of those two things doesn't matter. Don't care.
Soy sauce. Soy sauce. Soy sauce. Made for.
Why is this all the way back here? Why is it all the way back here when she's saying it all the way over here? Here. Yeah. Yeah, I think you've got the right way of looking at it. I've been delving in mobile games for way too long. The main reason I delve in mobile games is because they're far less of I will spend less time on a mobile game than I will spend on a console or a PC game. So in terms of keeping my productivity up, taking a little time to do some stuff in a mobile game is a lot better than getting stuck in, say, I don't do big multiplayer games. I don't play a lot of stuff like Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, Call of Duty, any of that. I don't really do that because there's no point. Like, I don't get anything out of that other than mostly frustration. I'll play it if I have friends I'm playing with. And there are single player games that I might get sucked into, so I try to play those minimally. For instance, I've been playing Craftopia recently, but I try to play it as little as possible because I don't want to get sucked in and end up not focusing on stuff I need to get done. Mobile games are able to be like a weird middle ground because a lot of the weird limitations on mobile games are actually really useful for me. It's like, oh, I run out of resources. I could spend money to get more resources, or I could stop playing the game for several hours, and then after I've gotten several hours of work done and I'm a little tired, I can go back and just play a bit while I'm eating food or something. Yay! Yes, playing gacha games for the story and characters. Mobile games are a phenomenal medium for potential in writing stories, because graphics don't really matter that much, mechanics don't really matter that much, because they're mobile games. People don't have high expectations. They don't. So you can spend the vast majority of your effort and time on writing good story. Sadly, that's where a lot of mobile games fail utterly, because they will come out with a phenomenal story at the beginning. Girls Frontline is one of the prime examples of this. They will come out with phenomenal story stuff right at the start, and then will never, ever update it for huge periods of time. There will be months between updates to the story. Their new game, Girls Frontline 2, is the best example of this. The main story hasn't been updated since day one. I think they went up to chapter 6, and then they had an update that went to chapter 8, and then chapter 8 has been out for like months, and they haven't updated the story. They do events and do stories for the events, but who gives a crap about that? It's not the main story. So it's weird that mobile games work like that. They pull out good story to draw people in, and then will never update it and just sink their hooks into you. It's like, okay, now give us your money. Which is why I like Hoyoverse games, even though I only played Honkai Star Rail at this point, because the other games are way too much of time sinks. Genshin Impact and Honkai Impact are both played in a way that requires me to spend too much time on it. Exploration and open world stuff is just like nah, Also, controlling combat. Honkai Star Rail is the only one I stick with. Zenless Zero Zone is the same way. Honkai Star Rail is the only one I stick with because it's the one I can set to auto. I set it to auto mode and I just don't care. I do not play manually unless I have to, and I hate it when they make me because I don't want to do it. I have it set to automatic so that I can still do stuff while the game is running. Tower of Fantasy, yeah, that one, I did not have high hopes for that one. I thought Wuthering Waves was going to be the same. They proved me wrong. They proved me quite wrong. It's still very popular. I don't play it because, again, it's an open world manual combat game. I don't have time for that, so I don't play it. But it's still a game people talk about, so they proved me wrong on that one. It's turned into kind of more of a just chatting stream than an editing stream, but I'm not against that. I don't get to give my opinions on these things very often. I do like Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zero Zone, but I do not have the time to play those games. If those games came out when I was a teenager and I didn't really have a lot of responsibility or, you know, mental intelligence, whatever you want to call it, to be responsible, I would have sunk hours and hours and hours into those games. So much time. I would have put so much time into those games, but I don't do that anymore. That's one of the reasons why I like the Uma Musume game, because the horse racing thing is I can set it to the race and like, okay, I'm gonna get stuff done. Oh, the race is over. Okay, okay, they're on to the next race. Okay, back to work. Although I do think that, I don't know, I have no, back to original point on Uma Musume, I just can't see it lasting long term. I just can't see it. It has way too many glaring issues. Issues that have spelled the death knell for many mobile games.
Made from Sawyer Player. Again, you know. Yeah, guess where she.
Just grab this one real quick. No, this one. EOS? Which game is EOS? I'm trying to think. There are so many mobile games I can't keep up with all the acronyms. This is why you might notice that I say games by their full names, because I can't keep up with the acronyms. Oh. End of services. Okay, that's right. I've never given that a proper term. Just say the game died. Because that's literally what happens. The game just dies. And everything ends.
Guess where she went?
I do think that Uma Musume could stay in the... could stay fairly popular more long term if they lowered prices. Because if they lower store prices in the game, then people will be more willing to put more money into it, because big price tags scare people for good reason. But small price tags trick simple people into thinking they're saving money. And then they spend more than what the high price tag was without even realizing it. It's microtransactions 101. I don't understand. Maybe they're trying to be more honest, which fair if they are, but because to be fair, the $70 for 7,000 carats is about what people would pay for 7,000 carats on smaller price lists anyway. But in terms of, it's not just in terms of making money, it's in terms of game longevity. Your game's longevity will go down if people can see right from the start, like, oh, I'm wasting money. If they don't realize they're wasting money, they'll keep spending money. EA has learned this lesson. On top of, make it so that the thing they're spending money on is something that they want to spend money on, like their soccer games that make them billions of dollars. I did not get maxed out, Kita-san. I got up to 2, but that was only because it was the first banner I went with, so I had a bunch of the starting carrots running for me. I hit 2 and it was near the last day, and I just said, I'm going to save what I have for the next banner, because even if I were to use it all right now, I wouldn't get another copy of the card. I would rather save it so I have more, so I have a higher chance of getting the next thing. And sadly, that's how I'm going to keep playing that game, because their drop rates are so abysmally low that there's 0 point on trying to spam that crap to get stuff, because their drop rates are not worth the price. Dropping prices would be thing number 1. If they really don't want to do that, raise the drop rates. It's ridiculous. Better yet, make it more worthwhile to recycle the lower tier cards. You don't get a lot out of recycling those. A little bit more than other mobile games, but still not, considering that those are the majority of what you're gonna get every single time. Doesn't really make it worth it. So if you were to recycle those, and the shop for the recycled material, the horseshoes, or if those were to get you a little bit more, I think that would be more worthwhile. For example, make it so that every month you could get up to 10 pulls just out of that store, would make it infinitely more worthwhile to people. Because then they pull enough, they'll get enough resources where they can actually do another 10 pull off of just those low tier cards. Honkai Star Rail is intelligent enough that they are able to make up for the price by giving you other things so you don't have to spend money. For example, I need to pull up the game again. I need to open it. Honkai Star Rail offers several features that will get you whatever the fetch thing it's called. What is it called? Special Pass. It's stupid. So, Honkai Star Rail, you have the option of Stellar Purchase, where you can trade the whatever the fetch they're called. The Stellar Jades, where you trade Stellar Jades for the Special Passes. You also have, which you can get which obviously you can get them through the usual things. You have the monthly, whatever the battle pass, or not battle pass, season pass the monthly subscription thing. And completing achievements and quests and story stuff, and there's different ways to get those. Or you can purchase them in the store. Let's see, for a 10 pull, I think it is, yeah, the $30 one is the 10 pull. But you also have the Starlight Exchange and the Embers Exchange. The Embers Exchange gives you, what, 5 of those a month? That's already better than Uma Musume. Unless you're spending thousands of dollars. Enough to start, recycling the SSRs already. Which is really sad for you if you're at that point. You also have the Starlight Exchange, which you get is the recycling system. So in Honkai Star Rail, if you already have the characters leveled up to max, the 4-star characters, which I think I have all of them leveled up to max, because I recognized early on that the recycling system for this game is absurdly broken and really good. Get the 4-star characters to max, do the pulls. Even if you fail, you get the recycled bits from the low-tier characters, which you can then use to purchase an infinite amount of tickets to get the pulls. So Honkai Star Rail has set it up so that you can so if you're smart, and still you do need to spend money if you want to, max everything out, but they have a system that allows even the casual players to be able to some degree keep up enough to play all of the different features in the game. Uma Musume does not offer any of that. You get, let's see, it's 2 tickets for the trainees, 2 tickets for the support cards, and then the 1 SR guaranteed ticket. And that's it. To be fair, there's 3 different shops for those, but one of those is for the SSRs, one is for the SR, and one is for the R. So only one of those is the most common, and you get 5 over the course of a month for 3 different pulls. So the value is already lowered there because it's only 2 for 2 of the pulls and then 1 for 1. And because the pulls are so hard to do consistently, because they cost so much, you don't get a lot of the recycling material. So they don't offer enough value. They don't... Okay, gacha players won't look at it, but they won't... They will, but they won't realize they're looking at it. Because it's stuff that they give you that you go, oh hey, that's cool, I got free stuff. And it makes you happy and you keep playing the game. Honkai Star Rail does a better job of hitting that part of the brain that goes, oh hey, free thing. Oh hey, this make me feel good. Oh hey, cool. And then it keeps you going. Uma Musume is just like, you haven't given us your monthly allotment of $5,000, so sucks to be you, I guess. Go get a job or something and give us all your money. They're like tax collectors. They want all your money and will give you very little in return. Honkai Star Rail is more like a scam artist. You will give them all your money, but you'll feel like it was a good purchase. That is the simplest way I can compare the two. I feel like that's the most simplified way I can put that. So that's the difference between the two. So yeah, scammers are no better than tax collectors, but they're smart in that they make people think that there's a difference.
No, I can't. I appreciate you, Gal.
I can't believe I've been a
This one's gonna start the same way as the last one. Although I didn't finish the Tanya one, I just at least want to get the subtitles done for these. At least try to. Still, I'm not exactly upset when I have streams where I get distracted by tangents because it's a fun conversation. I don't get to have them all that often on my streams, so it's fun. Okay. I gotta open up Photoshop again. Nope. Okay. Grab that and that. And... I do try to fix some spelling mistakes. I don't fix all spelling mistakes when I do these chat boxes, but I do try to fix some just because I know how it can feel when you type something in chat and then realize you made a spelling error and you're like, ah, crap. You can't fix it. There's no editing your message. Okay. I appreciate people being here, and I appreciate having people having conversations with me. I don't give my opinion. I don't get to give my opinions on things very often, so it's nice to have conversations with people and talk about whatever stuff. Chat box. Here we go. Yeah. I understand why people say don't spend money on gacha, spend it on other stuff. I totally get it because they're not wrong. I think that largely applies to people who are spending hundreds of dollars a month on mobile games. But at the same time, there's the, if let people spend money on what they want to spend money on. It's their money. And if they're not like in a tight financial situation, especially, I was like, I don't know.
I can't believe I've been lied to this whole time about you being a moose.
Especially if it's like if it's a mobile game that the developers and company are in your local country, it is also putting money back into your own economy. So it's like, I mean, I don't know, making up excuses for people who spend money on mobile games. I feel like if you're just trying to get a character a single time, it's more understandable than if you're trying to get the character and then max them out. That's the part I don't understand very much, because it just seems weird to me. Because it's too much money and effort for something that's not going to have enough long-term value. But that's the way my brain looks at these things, is I need long enough term value for something if I'm going to put that much time, effort, and sometimes money into it. For example, like a computer. Why would I spend, like, a lot of computers go for like thousands of dollars, and then they have all of these different like VTuber themed computers out there. It's like, why would I spend $1,000 on a computer that's the tech inside is so low quality that I would have to replace the entire thing in like the next year, if not day one? You know, it I want enough long-term value in what I'm giving money for. I bring up computer because that's one of the things I'm looking at, also because I might need to buy a new computer because it keeps freezing on me. I don't know what the problem is. I'm assuming GPU, but every time I look at replacing the GPU and stuff, then I have to start replacing everything else because nothing else is updated enough to keep up with new stuff. And it just becomes a mess. Yeah, that is kind of annoying. Just people can get a little too judgmental on the internet. But that's the internet and people for you. I'm not sure if I want to do the same thing I did before, if I want to try... Because there's two ways of doing this. There's this one that we did here. And I'm not so worried about giving my opinion to people because remember the crap, what's the word? The fable of the father, son, and their donkey. If you've heard that one. Moral of the story, you will never please everyone. So just do things your way. If it works, it works. Don't worry about other people's opinions because you will never be able to please everyone. It's not possible. And trying to please everyone will just cause more problems. So I don't really care that much about giving my opinion on things because people get upset about my opinion. If one person gets upset about one opinion, if I try to change that opinion, then somebody else will get upset about that. So I don't care. Somebody's always going to be upset about me about an opinion. It is not... It's one of the nice things about being small enough on the internet where I don't have to care. Well, this actually works really well.
To this whole time about you being a moose. I trusted you. I can't believe I've been...
Oh, this worked out really well. Holy crap. I don't think I'm even going to need to add anything to separate them. Like, it flows really well. Weird. It just worked out. To extend that a bit.
Mr. Bond.
Okay, how big does this need to be for everything to fit on the screen? Okay, we'll go 180.
Bite, you have... Mr. Bite, you have been here for a long time. You should know that I'm not a fucking moose. Mr. Bite, you have...
I think I'll cut out this part, though.
I trusted you.
Mr. Bite, you have been here for a long time. You should know that I'm not a fucking moose. Fucked up. Not a moose. Tony Stark. Obvious. Obviously. Look, I'm Tony Shard. How could you forget this? Jarvis jerking a little.
You're not a moose? No way.
I'm already your slave. You're not my slave. Jarvis' spin on it. Tony Shard. How could you forget this?
I don't know if I want to do the whole thing. I don't know. I have this weird thing where shorter shorts just make me feel weird. It's like, okay, I feel like I'm missing too much. I don't know. I feel like this does cover well enough. It's only 19 seconds long, but I feel like it covers the main points. I don't know.
You guys don't know, chat. Chloe is. She's always been made as Jarvis a puppet. Where? Squirrel! Jarvis' spin on it. Where? Forget this.
You're not a moose? No way.
I'm already your slave. You're not.
You're not a moose? No way.
So I do not get paid for this. Well, I do actually. I work with Muna Celeste officially, so I do get paid helping her with shorts. But for the Clips channel, is not monetized. I don't know if it ever will be. I don't think I get enough. I don't know if maybe someday, but the growth on the channel is very slow, so for that I usually go through Twitch, just because Twitch has their clips section, which is really nice because there is no way on earth I can watch every VTuber stream. There are too many VTubers, too many streams. Each VTuber streams an average of 2 to 4 hours minimum. That is a lot of content to try to keep up with. Not happening. So what I do is I go to the clips section on their Twitch page, and I will look through the clips that are on there, and if I find one that I think is funny or could make a good clip, I'll go to that part of the VOD and I'll cut out more of it to get the full context and maybe some more stuff on either end, before and after, to build more of a story around it, to build proper context and whatnot. And that's usually the process I follow. I can't do that on YouTube, which is why you won't see any YouTube only streamers, and why I will never do, one of the reasons why I will probably never do a HoloLive clip on my Clips channel, because YouTube doesn't have that feature. So the only way I can find clips is to go to other people's Clips channels, and basically that would feel more like stealing their content, which I know is stupid because they're using content from somebody else's stream on their, so it's not anyway. It just feels like it would feel like basing my stuff on other people's stuff rather than trying to find stuff for myself, but whatever. So I went through a whole tangent about this before, but starting a Clips channel can be Clips channels are not for optimists. Let's put it that way. clip channels are not for optimists, and they are not for hard workers. Clips channels will be the most successful for people who are cool with things not going well and people who are lazy as crap. So the reason why I went on a tangent about this before is a couple weeks back. YouTube recommended a video to me from another clips channel that clips some VTubers I'm familiar with, like Arca. They are a channel that gets an average of 1 to 500,000 views per video. They upload one video every 6 months. And put minimal. They basically do very similar amounts of editing that I do. Basically just like subtitles, or like what I do now. I used to do a lot more editing on these. So minimal work, 1 clip, 2 clips per year, and they get hundreds of thousands of views, whereas I will put hours of work into every video. I upload once every day, Monday through Saturday, bi-weekly, and then Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on the other week. And I get an average of 20 to 50 views minimum. Every now and then, I'm every now and then having some clips that will go into triple digits, 100. Right now I think I have a couple of videos that have gone. I think I have one clip that actually went up to 500 views. And 500 views to me is like, holy crap, this clip is popular. It's in the grand scheme of things, it's not. It's not gonna get me anywhere. Yeah, one of the clips got 500, which is really good. The top 10 clips actually, one of the top 10 clips actually made it to 100 views, which almost never happens. So you will see clips channels are a dime a dozen. I'll try to remember the points I brought up in my last thing about it. Clips channels are a dime a dozen. So you have a huge amount of people to compete with. And no amount of work guarantees you success. It is one of those things where you can put in more effort than anyone else on the planet and get nothing for it. So, and meanwhile, you can have people that use nothing but AI for everything, and they'll get millions of views. So it's not really it's not really one of those things for hard workers, because your hard work will not pay off, or at least it has no guarantee of paying off. If you want a bit more of a guarantee of success, you could go for Hololive. Hololive clips channels are pretty good at getting views, but the vast majority of clips channels on VTuber clips channels on YouTube are for Hololive. So good luck. Yeah, having it be in a hobby thing is perfectly fine. Another point is, and this is something I found out the hard way after, 3 years of doing my clips channel, the vast majority of VTubers don't care. You can at them on Twitter, you can post it on their Discords, all that stuff, they will not care. And by that I mean they won't really give it much. My music has stopped. No, it hasn't. It's just a really quiet song. They won't give it a lot of attention. Don't go expecting people to retweet or comment on the video or to even see the video. Don't go expecting even attention from their communities. Just do it because you want to and because it's just something on the side or because it's something you enjoy, whatever. Why is the music not working here? I switched to a different video. Maybe it's just too quiet. Hold on, let me... Is this one coming through with audio? Yes! Finally, good grief. It's too loud. Need to turn it down. Still too loud. Let me turn it down some more. No. Filters, dadgummit. There we go. Yes, it can be decent for networking. It's why I work with Muna now. But from what I've found, I think the main focus, if you want, I guess it's kind of like it's one of those things where the concept of throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks actually is the way to go. Basically, make clips of a bunch of different VTubers and find the ones who will pay the most attention to your stuff, because that gives you the best chance of it being shared more and getting to more people and potentially getting good networking and whatnot out of it. The vast majority of VTubers that I've made clips for do not pay attention to any social media posts, which is one of the reasons why I haven't bothered to branch out outside of Twitter. I tried Blue Sky back when a bunch of VTubers were going over there, but it quickly became obvious that Blue Sky was not gonna be a important part of long-term investing, so I just don't care anymore. I don't know, maybe VTubers are a bit more attentive over there. I don't know. I haven't noticed I never noticed a big difference between the two when making posts between the two. It's mostly just attention from the same groups of people. But it doesn't really matter. It didn't really matter if the VTuber was a big VTuber or a small VTuber. The attention or lack thereof was the same. Big or small, didn't matter. I will say the difference between big and small VTubers is that larger VTubers are more likely to see you if you're a small creator as a bot and block you. Speaking from personal experience, I have been blocked by several larger VTubers, assuming because they thought I was a bot or something. I don't know. Not like I ever do anything controversial. Yet. I say yet because it's the internet. Who knows? But yeah, if you're planning on doing it just as a thing on the side and just doing it for fun, have at it. Good for you. I wish you the best. I hope that you are able to be more successful than I have been, because it definitely takes the fun out of editing when you do it for several years and have little to nothing to show for it. It takes a lot of the fun out of it. I've said it over and over again, but the main point of my Clips channel is to help bring more attention to smaller creators, for one, and two, just to, make content like help bring the content out there and bring smiles to people and whatnot. But it gets so little attention that you just kind of start. That's why I do a whole lot less editing on a lot of the clips than I used to do. A lot less editing. I mostly just do subtitles, and that's about it. I used to do a whole lot more. But,
You're slave. You're not my slave!
yeah, I do think this is...
But I'm not a fucking moose. Look, I'm Tony Shard. How could you forget this?
I think I'll extend it to, like, here, but
Jarvis, jerk it a little.
I think that's good. I think that covers... Well, actually...
Just a bit. If you guys don't know, chat, Chloe is Jarvis.
There's a part with the...
Where? Squirrel!
Yeah, I don't know. For a normal video, I'd put that on the end, but it's a short, so probably shouldn't bother. Yeah. Video editing, like a lot of other fields, is becoming harder and harder to be able to have as a long-term viable career option. Sometimes when talking about it, I compare it to like actors, where you kind of have to keep trying until you get your big break, or somebody with enough connections and whatnot
Mr. Bite.
notices you, and
Yeah, I'm Tony Stark.
then you're able to get a bit more work and whatnot because you can work with those connections. Networking is a big part of it.
I can't believe I've been lied to this whole time about you being a moose. I trusted you.
Mr. Bite.
Why did this change? Did you notice this? This wasn't like this before. Why did this change? That was weird.
I can't believe I've been lied to this whole time about you being a moose.
Why did that happen? I moved this one, but I didn't move this one, so why did... It's an issue I haven't run into before. This is a new one. I haven't ever run into an issue where I edit one thing and it edits something completely unrelated. I haven't run into that before. But yeah, it's basically Premiere for you.
I'm Tony Stark, obviously.
Okay, what the crap? It gets this right, even though it's not even a real word. What the crap?
Obviously. Look, I'm Tony Shard. How could you forget this?
I don't know if I can fit that one all in one Well, I can try and see how it goes. I wonder if I'll need to darken the subtitles on this one. Just because they blend a little too much, I might need to darken them. Or I could just change the... No, it's not background. I don't remember how I did this before. Why is it not updating? Have you noticed that? It's not properly updating. Being weird again. Yeah, it does this sometimes. It means I've been... This is one of the reasons why I'm saying my computer's having problems. But this is likely just a Premiere problem unless my whole computer suddenly freezes. Which could happen at any moment. It's honestly a miracle that hasn't happened during this stream. It happened before the stream. It did. It happened right before. Whole computer froze. Why is the one key not working? Well, I just have to play around with that a bit more. I know I did it in a recent... I don't know if I did it in the most recent Echo video that I did. I've done it in an Echo clip before. My brain is just a little too fried. I'm not able to think of what it... Yeah, I did do it in this one. That's what it was, right? Yeah, I'm being stupid. It's a really obvious, in-your-face kind of like, well, duh. But my brain just couldn't figure it out for the life of me. Okay. Yeah, 30 is too much. There we go. That gives it a little bit of a softer edge. All right.
For a long time. You should know that
Looks like there's not a space between. There is. Okay. Just looks like there's not a space between not and Weird.
moves. Tony Stark. Look, I'm Tony Shard.
Yeah, no. I think that works.
How could you forget this? Obviously.
Weird.
Obviously. Look, I'm Tony Shard.
Alright, well. It's been 3 hours. It's probably can feel my throat getting sore. Probably call it here. Ooh, soy milk got a new model. Yay, I was planning on raiding soy milk anyway, but now we have an extra reason to. Soy milk is one of my favorite VTubers. It's so funny. And she's one of the good ones. As an editor, she is one of the good ones. And as a clips channel. Alright. She's showing off a new Pixel model. It looks great. Why did the music stop? Oh, the video froze. Oh no. Everything's about to crash. Okay, we gotta go. Oh no, everything's about to collapse. I think my I don't know if my Wi-Fi's about to drop or what, but the YouTube just froze. It's just like, oh crap, we're not in a good position. Time to go. Okay, everybody have a good one. Hope to see you again next time. Oh, goodbye.